Ever wondered how apps instantly show the weather anywhere on the earth? But how does it actually work? So if you are someone who are really interested into tech and want to build your first real world project, then this video is especially for you. Today we will build a live weather app by just using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. No complicated tools, just simple practical coding. And to guide you all, I have Mrinal Bhattacharya, who is an expert instructor at Scalar School of Technology, who makes coding fun and super easy to use. So before we get started, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to our channel for more such videos. So without any further ado, let's get started.
So what we will do is that we will be taking this session from the very scratch, right? So that anyone who has not coded before, who doesn't knows about anything, they'll also be able to join us, and they'll also be able to code along with us. Okay. So we'll take everything from scratch. And today what we are going to do, today we are going to build this weather app that you can see on the screen, right? So is my screen visible, voice audible, and everything is working fine operationally? Yes. Great, then super excited to start this session with you all. Let's start now. Okay, perfect. So as you can see on your screen that this is a simple weather application that we have created. Now you can see that there is a little design going on. This particular glass kind of an effect you can see. This is known as glass morphism in design terms, right? Inside this particular card, you can see that I have searched for London over here. So I'm actually getting details, weather details of London, right? Similarly, over here, you can go, and that is why I asked you for your location. So what we'll do is we'll try to search the weather information about any random location that you have sent, right? So let's try to search for Delhi or Raipur. Maybe let's search for Hyderabad, right? So I'll just write Hyderabad over here. And if I just do a search, now you can see that this particular application will just fetch details of Hyderabad. So right now Hyderabad is having 29.1 Celsius that is going on, right? So people from Hyderabad can confirm that if this is true data or not, right? And it's a little partly cloudy over here. So it's not sunny, it's not raining, but it's a little cloudier at that point, right? Similarly, now let's try to search for any other place. Maybe let's search for any other place that you can give me, right? Bangalore, Paris. Okay, now let's go a little international. Yes, let's search for Paris then. Right. So if I go over here and if I search for Paris, so over here you can see that this is the temperature details about Paris right now. 19 Celsius is going on, and this is the date and the time. Right, date and time is also optimized over here. It's 8:50 in the morning, and 10th is the date, of course. And it's a little sunny over here, right? Well, we can't go intergalactic, right? We can only go international. Right. Perfect. Great, everyone. Russia. Russia, Tokyo. Okay, Tokyo we can search about, right? Yes, Tokyo is over here, 33-degree. Wow, that's pretty hot, right? And over here we have the date and the time, and it's a little cloudy over there as well, right? So if you see, this is a simple weather application that you can create with just using some tools, right? With just using some web technologies. But even to create something simple like this, first of all, what do we need? We need to make our fundamentals clear, and we need to set up our base, right? And a simple web application like this can be created with using three tools, right? And what are those three tools? If anyone knows, can you help me with the three tools that we can use to create something like this? A simple web application. Yes, right. So these things can be pretty much achieved with using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? So basically, what we will be doing is, as you will come to the campus as well, we will be having detailed sessions on HTML, JavaScript, CSS for your first trimester. Then, as we move forward, we'll be having more sessions on React, we'll be having more sessions on Node.js, we'll be having Next.js, we'll be having TypeScript, we'll be having so many things that you will be seeing that, okay, a lot of things goes on when we do web development, right? So yes, we'll move forward with that. But as today we are going to start with an introductory session. So what we'll do, we'll start from the very scratch. Great. So what are these three tools first of all, and how do you write this? How do you work around with HTML, JavaScript, CSS? Let's basically get started and see that, right? So I'll just fix my iPad once. For some reason, this is not scrolling down. Just a second. I'll close this and I'll open it again. Yes, perfect, right? So now it has started scrolling, and yes. So in your screen, you can see that this is going to be the agenda for today's session, and we'll try most of the things to cover. But yes, as only we have 2 hours, so let's see if we can cover the entire app. Okay. So first of all, we will be setting up the development environment. Then we'll try to understand about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Third, structure out the page with HTML, add designs with CSS, add interactivity and logic with JavaScript, and at the end, we'll be using a real time API. Okay, so these are the things that we are going to cover that I think we must be able to cover if time allows, right? But yes, let's move forward and see slowly that where can we reach today. Okay, perfect. So now over here, we are not here to study today, right? This is not a study session, this is not a class. This is just a session so that we can engage with each other, we can interact with each other, and we can just get to know each other by just doing some fun, by just building something, right? That's the session. So just free your mind completely, sit relaxed, and yes, let's have some fun. Let's enjoy the session. Great. So now what we'll be exploring is we'll be exploring these three tools today: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? What are these three tools? How do they work? Why are they used for? Everything about them. Okay. Before moving to actual details of these technologies, what we'll do is let's move browser. I'll go to another tab, right? So I've opened another tab, and here let me open any website, right? Let me just open Amazon.in maybe, right? I hope you like to shop, right? Any other website that we use frequently that you would want me to open? YouTube, okay, you can open YouTube. GPT, yes, of course. Flipkart, okay. So now, as you will come to the campus, you will be using this website a lot, right? Which is the Scalers website. All right, so I'll open this as well. And maybe I'll open another website, let's say Flipkart. Okay. So I've opened these three websites right now. Yes, now you can open any website of your choice in your browser, and just notice how these websites are created. What are the elements that you see, right? Let's check this out. So let's just start with this Amazon's website. Over here, just see the layout of this website. That at the top you have all these elements. Basically, there is this logo, there is this location element, there is this search bar. After that, you have this drop down where you see the language selection. Then again, you have this sign in button, return and order section, your cart, right? Something like that. A lot of elements are here at just one place, just one website. And not only elements are there, but these elements are designed beautifully as well, right? So if you see, this particular search bar has a specific width, it has a specific height. Similarly, this logo has a specific width and some specific height. Now, if you go down, if you move forward, you can see there are a lot of cards. In these cards, they have different images. In these cards, they have different headings, right? Like that. Now, if you move forward, you will see there are different buttons as well with the color yellow. Okay, something like this. Now, if you move forward, you will see pretty much the same design moving forward. But yes, there is one more new element that you'll find out, that this is the carousel. What is the carousel? That you can move this particular thing with an arrow like this. So this element we call as carousel in web development terms, right? Like that. So these are multiple different elements using which this website is created, right? A lot of different elements are here. Similarly, if I go to this Flipkart, now you can see that this search bar looks a little different, right? This looks a little different. This doesn't has that this darker shade that Amazon has, right? The darker background, the all, this yellow colored search button. This doesn't have it. This is a simple nav bar where they of course have the search logo, but the color is different, the size is a little different. And this nav bar doesn't have all those options which Amazon has, right? Over here, you can see you can select language, you can return an order, you can go to your cart, but here you can only go to your cart and log in, right? Something like that, or become a seller, something like that. Okay. So if you see, both of these websites are e-commerce platform only, but they have different look and feel, right? They have different look and feel. They serve the same purpose that you can go, you can search for any product and you can buy it, right? But if you see, they have some different look and feel. So if you see every particular website that you will go into, they have a different look and feel. They have different elements by which they are created. They have different designs by which they have created and everything, right? So how all of these designs are created, how all of these elements are created, that we have to understand. Okay, let's see that. So now what I'll do, I'll go to Scalar's website first of all. Okay. And over here, you see, again, we have some different design. We have some different things over here. And this is something that we have. I'll just refresh this once and I'll close this. Right. And you see, this is a simple website that we have. Maybe I'll move to a different section, or let's stay in the home only, right? Over here again, you can see at the top, we have a nav bar, some buttons, and some different designs, some different elements. Okay. Let me show you something now. So now what you have to do, over here, if you see, there are some elements and these elements are designed as well. Okay. But when we build a website, there are 4 rules of building a website. First of all, we have to add the structure, right? So let's not think about that we are building a website. Let's think about that we're just building a building. Okay. Let's think like an architect. Okay. So what is the job of an architect? How will you plan to build a building, first of all? Anyone? What would be the first step that you will do when you want to build a building, constructive construction work, right? Structure, right? Structure. Perfect. But before that, what you will do? Yes. Before even building this structure, what you will do, you will build a map. You will build a blueprint that this is how the architecture will look like, right? Something like that. So the first step that you do is always build a map or a blueprint, right? Basic rule. So if you see these websites as well, so these designs, these elements that are designed beautifully for different websites, they are not built just by diving into it and coding it. No. First, the design was thought about that this is how the design of the website should look. There should be the nav bar, there should be the search bar, there should be these buttons, there should be these filters, there should be these cards. This was first thought about on pen and paper, right? And when you think about a specific design on pen and paper, that particular thing in software engineering terms, when you do this for a website or a web app or a mobile app or any kind of application, do you know what that particular thing is called? When you just build a map or a blueprint for a software. Anyone? Prototype? No, no, no. Prototype is a lot ahead. Pseudocode? No. Flowchart? No. This particular thing is called as a wireframe, right? This is called as a wireframe. Algorithm, dry run, flowchart, pseudocode, prototype, everything is different, right? But this design that you create on pen and paper for a specific web application is known as a wireframe. Okay, now let me show you how a wireframe looks like. Okay, so if you go to these, again, if you go to your browser, and if you just search about what is wireframe, right? Just like this, just search about wireframe and don't go anywhere. Just read this highlighted definition. What it says, that a basic visual guide or blueprint used in website and application design to represent the skeletal framework or user interface. That's all. Now let me show you some images. So if I go to these images, now you can see that this is the design. Let's say if I open this up, open image in a new tab, and I'll just zoom this a little, right? Or maybe not that clear. Let me open another one. Yes, maybe this one, right? Great. So now if you see, is this visible, everyone? Yes, great. So just see this. How does this looks like? This is also a simple wireframe of a e-commerce application, right? So over here, if you can see, there will be a logo, there will be these catalogs, there will be a search bar, there will be this add to cart, right? Similarly, they have created a different page that you can set up this price filter, these colors, right? A very similar design to Amazon, if you see, right? And then there is this section that a product, how the product will look like. There will be different images for the product. Here the product description will go, here the price will go, here the product name will go. And then they have also designed about the cart, that this is how your cart will look like, that how many of these have you added quantitatively, and then your product name, then your price, and then the total, and then checkout, right? Like this. So over here, if you see, no colors have been used, no real images have been used, nothing, but this is just a pen and paper diagram to represent that how your website will look like, right? And this specific thing, what it is called, now you must know the term. What was the term for this? A wireframe, right? So every time, anytime you create a website, try to create a wireframe of it first, that this is what I want. So it will give you a visual map that, okay, this is what your end goal will be. Okay, great. All right, everyone. So this was the wireframes. This was the first thing that you do, right? And this wireframing, the design part, and everything, this is done in different tools. But most of the time, there is a very popular tool that goes on in the market to create the wireframe, basic design, and everything. And that is, anyone knows the tool? Figma. Very nice, right? So we have this tool that goes into the market, Figma. You may have heard about these job roles by that goes by the name UI UX developer or product designer, right? Have you ever heard about these terms? Right? So what are these terms? They basically work with Figma. They basically work with design tools. They basically work with these kind of tools, right? Figma. They are product designers. So yes, that one particular job role is there for you, which you can explore, product designer. If you are creative enough, if you know how to create beautiful websites, you can explore that area as well, right? Great. So now wireframing is done. After that, what we can do is no. Okay, you don't want exclusive product design? No issues, no issues. Okay, great. All right, wireframe done. Now, the next thing is after you have built a map, after you have built a visual representation of how your application or basically your building should look like, then what is the next step? The next step is building the structure, right? So now the next step is going to be building the structure of the website, right? So now, what do I mean by the structure of the website? So when you create a structure of a building, what do you take care of? Right? You lay a foundation, right? On top of it, maybe you create some walls, you add your pillars, you add everything, and you just keep on building floors and floors and floors. Right? Like this. You have just built that, right? So unconstructed building or just a structure of building, how does it looks like? If I just go over here, structure of a unconstructed building. Okay, let's try to see something like this. So if you see, this is how an incomplete or a just a structured building looks like. This is the structure that we have created. right? Over here, if you see, if I open this in a new tab, right? This is a structure of a building that you create, right? So over here, if you see that, do you see any designs? Do you see any colors in this building? Do you see any flashy things? No, right? And this doesn't looks good at all, right? This doesn't looks good at all, right? So same thing happens when we build a website. That the structure is pretty much on the uglier side only, right? So let's basically let me just show this to you. What do I mean by this, right? So I'll go to this Scalers website, and over here, just pay attention. And if you want, you can do this with me as well. So here you just have to go and do a right click, right? Do a right click and go to inspect, right? Go to inspect, right? In any website, right? Just everyone, please pay attention. Go to inspect. When you go to inspect, you will have one particular section that will open up for you, right? And this is that section that opens up. Okay, I'll keep this at the bottom. And this particular section over here has a lot of options, right? Anyone knows what this section is called on the browser? Okay, inspect, no. This particular section which you open up is known as your developer tools, right? And inside developer tools, you have all these things: elements, console, sources, network, performance, memory, application, privacy, security, everything. They are known as your developer tools, right? And as you are starting your software engineering journey, as you're starting your development journey, trust me, this section is going to be a best friend moving forward. Okay. So anything related to testing, anything related to checking an element, anything related to checking the design, anything related to checking network performance, anything related to checking application performance, memory management, privacy security, everything related to a web application, you will be doing it over here, right? Everything, all the configuration things you'll be doing over here. Of course, you'll be writing some code, but software development is not just about writing code. It's also about debugging things. It's also about testing things. It's also about managing and optimizing things, right? So you'll be doing all of those things over here, mostly on the front end side, right? What is Figma? Figma is just a tool which helps you to create beautiful wireframes, right? Design and everything, right? Maybe you have heard about Adobe, right? Yes, yes. So a very similar tool to that, right? Where you can create different designs and basically create your wireframes. That's just a tool, right? So if you want to explore Figma, maybe some day later I can schedule a session for Figma, but you can go and you can explore it today. I mean, after the session, right? So Figma, interface design tool. That's all. You just have to go to this website and you can start exploring this, that how this works and get started for free. This is a free tool. You can use it in your own convenience. Okay, perfect. But today's content is not about Figma, so I won't go to Figma today. Yes. So now what we are discussing, we're discussing about these developer tools. So what this developer tools does, over here you can manage all the things related to your product, your project. So here what we'll do, as we'll meet each other often. So one by one we'll be exploring all these things when you come to campus, when we'll have our live classes. But today we'll understand about this elements section that you see. Okay. So over here, if you go to this element section that is over here, you will see a lot of code that is written over here, right? And this code that is written is HTML, right? The complete code that you see over here is all HTML. Okay. But from this HTML, I am going to remove something, right? Let's see. So here what you have to do, if you're on a Windows machine, do a Control F. If you're on a Mac machine, do a Command F. So as soon as you do this shortcut, Command F or Control F, you will see that at the bottom a search bar will open up for you, right? Can you open this? Yes, perfect. So in this search bar, what you have to find, you just have to write this term, style style sheet. Okay. You just have to write this term style sheet. And as soon as you write this term, you will find that there are different pieces, there are different elements that are found with this style sheet tag. Okay, so this is one of them, and similarly they have found 34. So they'll show you the count that how many of these matches from your search term, right? So 34 lines, in 34 lines I've found style sheet. That's why this is showing 1 of 34. If I do a down button, it will take me to the second element, third element, fourth element, like this. Okay, so now what is our job? Our job right now is to remove all the styles. Yes, yes, 17, 34. There can be different numbers for different websites. Okay. Different websites have different style sheets. So nothing to worry about it. But the only thing that you need to do right now is that you have to remove these style sheets one by one. And how will you remove them? You just go to these style sheets one by one and just start doing a backspace. So let's say if I select this style sheet, I can do a backspace. Let's go to this style sheet, backspace, backspace, backspace. And similarly, what I'm doing over here is I'm removing all these 34 style sheets. I have removed all the style sheets from Scalar's HTML code. Okay. And now let's check how does our website looks. So if I close this developer tools, this is how Scalar's website looks without any design. See, complete design gone. Interesting, right? So I've removed all the style sheet from that HTML code, and this is what I get. So if design is not added, then this is how your Scalar's website will look like, or any other website, right? Want me to do this for Amazon? Let's do this, right? So over here, I can go to Control Inspect, and again, the same thing. Elements. In elements, what do you have to find? You just have to find style sheet, and they have 12 style sheet added. So I'll select each and every style sheet, and I'll just quickly remove these. And now you see this is Amazon's website without any style. Okay, like this. And if I go to Scalar, this is the Scalar's website without any design, right? Like that. So what did I just do? I removed all the designs from these websites. Is my voice breaking? Am I audible clearly? Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Right? Great. So what did we do over here? We removed the design. And when we remove the design, what we are left with? We are just left with the structure of the website, right? So we are just left with this. If we talk about in architectural terms, we're just left with this right now. Okay. So now if you are left with this, come on, just tell me honestly, would you like to live in a house like this? Of course not. Similarly, would you like to use a website like this? Of course not. Right? Of course not. Great. But yes. So what we have done is what the code, the things that you see right now over here is actually pure HTML, right? Is actually pure HTML. So over here you see the logo, over here you see these links, over here you see these images, over here you see this text, a simple button, this search logo, and everything. There are these images as well, which are so big, right? So these images are here, some text field are here, some buttons are here, some images are here, everything is here, but the design element is missing. No design at all, nothing. But when I'll refresh the page, then you will see what will happen. Then I'll get back the original source code. And now you see this is how the page is designed. Okay. So all that structure that you saw is designed like this. Okay. So basically what I wanted to tell you about this is that the structure, basic, without the design, right? The plain code that you saw, where there was no design, no elements, no alignments, nothing was that, nothing was there. This structure is built with HTML. Okay. So HTML can help you get some headings. HTML can help you get some paragraphs. HTML can help you get images. HTML can get you help some text fields, buttons, and everything. It can help you get all of these fundamental things But HTML cannot design any element for you, right? No design at all, right? But now if you see that, what did I remove when I removed those style sheets? Anyone? Yes. So all of those style sheets were all CSS files, right? They were all CSS files. So now let's talk about CSS. So if I now talk about CSS, so CSS is that particular thing which will now help you to design your elements. And by design, it can be anything: alignment, colors, margin, spacing, padding, anything, positioning. So many things are there. Anything that you do with respect to design is CSS. Okay? Anything. Mirror effect. Mirror effect. Where is the mirror effect? Didn't get exactly what you're saying. Right. If you can elaborate your question, I can answer better. All right. Great. All right. So now over here, if you see, these are the two things that we talked about. Yes, the mirror effect in the weather app. Correct. Right. These effect, glassmorphic effect. If you see, a little animation is going on over here. Different colors are being played with. Right. And these boxes have a specific design. This logo has a specific design. Everything. Right. This search button over here. This search bar over here. Everything is CSS over here. But again, from here as well, what you can do, you can just remove the CSS part and you will see the basic structure, that how does it looks like. So from our app only, what I'll do is I'll remove the style sheet. Okay. So it's a very small application. So over here, I'll just go to this div and to the head. And from here, I'll just remove the style sheet. So as soon as I remove the style sheet, this is the weather app that we have right now without CSS. Right, fun, right? Okay, so all those designs were added over here to make it look like this. Okay, perfect. So now I hope you understood that what is this. This is HTML in terms of software development. But now when we the complete design, complete building is built, then what we do, then we say that okay, on top of HTML we have added some CSS. So now you can see beautiful looking building or something, right? I can go to images, and if you see this particular building right now, right? So CSS has been added on top of it, right? Perfect. Yeah, that's the one analogy that I use in my classes. Great. So now we have this particular thing that we have understood, right? Great. So now, can't we add some basic design using HTML only? I mean, no, there are very minimum, right? Just one or two things, very minimum things that you can add with HTML, right? HTML doesn't support design. No. To design this beautifully, you need CSS. Okay. So two things we have discussed, that for structure HTML, for CSS design. Sorry, for design CSS. Okay. Perfect. Now let me move forward to the third tool that we can use, which is JavaScript. So now let's suppose you have built the structure of a building. On top of the structure, you have added good CSS as well. So your website looks pretty good, right? So your website looks very nice. Let's say we go to Amazon, we refresh, and CSS is added. It looks pretty good. But now the thing is that you only don't want to see the website and a beautiful design. You also want this website to do some job for you, right? So over here, when I search for, let's say I search for laptops, right? So when I click on this button, then what should happen? I should be getting some laptop data, right? So if I just over here click on the search button, I should be getting this laptop data, right? Similarly, at the side, if you can see, when I click on, let's say, these are all the brands that they have given. If I just click simply on Apple, then I should be getting all the Apple related data, right? Like that. Similarly, if I go over here and if I want to see this particular laptop, so this page should also open. And then from here, I can go and I can add this to my cart. So when I add this to my cart, this particular laptop should be visible in my cart as well. I should be able to proceed to buy this. I should be able to pay, and I should be able to place my order. You see, so many things are being involved over here, right? So, how are these things happening? The complete logic, the complete implementation, this complete interactiveness that you have added. That you can search for anything, your button should work, your filter should work, your card should get added with your product. You should be able to check out from the website, you should be able to pay money. How are all of these things added? Right? All of these things are added with the help of JavaScript. Yes. And JavaScript is not just this. JavaScript is like a very, very vast language these days, right? JavaScript. So, but today we'll just understand up till this point that interactivity for a web app. Okay. Interactivity for a web app. So now we are clear with, let's suppose that you're creating a building, you add some lift, your escalators should work, right? Your light buttons should work, all of those things. So that's basically a JavaScript, right? To give the building some life. Similarly, to give our website or web app some life, we use JavaScript so that it can be interactive and you can do your specific job there, right? Because every particular website will have their different use case. So if you go to Scala, we basically have a coding platform, we basically have watch recording, so many things. So those are our features. Similarly, Amazon will have their e-commerce feature. Similarly, if you go to any other website like YouTube, they have the video playing feature, all of those things. Everything is done with the help of JS. Okay. So, yes, that's the thing about it. And yes, so these are the three core technologies that we'll start with. Okay. Does these three technologies make sense? That what do they do? What's HTML? What's CSS? And what is JavaScript? Perfect. So now if these make sense, so now we'll move forward and start writing some code with these technologies. Okay. So let's do that. But to now start writing some code, what do you need? You need an environment where you'll be writing some code, right? You cannot just go and write code anywhere. You need a specific environment that supports all these code, that supports HTML, that supports CSS, that supports JavaScript, right? And can give you some output. Okay. So for this, what we'll be doing is there are different environments that you can use. And these different environments where you write code, they are known as IDE, right? They are known as IDEs. Anyone knows the full form of this? Okay. So this generally stands for integrated developer or integrated development environment. Okay. So these are some tools, right? They are nothing, I mean, a fancy name, but they're nothing. They're just some tools that helps developers to write some code, right? And in our web development journey, mostly I prefer using a tool known as VS Code, but there are other as well. There is Sublime as well, right? There is yes, Collab as well. Or if you may have heard these days that there is an AI integrated development environment, AIID, that's also in the market. That's Cursor. Okay. Yes, now you can just take names and names and names. Replit is also there. CodePen. Well, CodePen is mostly on the online side, right? So we have VS Code, we have Sublime, we have Collab, we have Cursor. In my time, there used to be one more ID that I like to use. That was Atom, right? But it was discontinued by the developers for some reason, right? I don't know. That was a good IDE, but yeah, that was discontinued. So mostly what we'll do is VS Code is recommended. If you're writing HTML, JS code, CSS code, or as you move forward, you'll be writing React code, Angular code, Node.js code. So personally, I felt like most of the developers out there, they feel like that VS Code is the way to go, right? Most of the developers, they use VS Code. Okay. So this is recommended, but if you're comfortable with Sublime Collab or anything, use it. I would not recommend using Cursor right now because this is completely AI powered. And before using AI, I would strongly request everyone to clear your fundamentals first. Because when you have your fundamentals clear, then only AI can help you. If you do not have your fundamentals clear, don't go for AI. Okay? Don't go for AI. It will confuse you and you will leave things there only. Okay. Clear your fundamentals, then go for AI tools. Okay. Chat GPT, Claude, V0, Cursor, and you can take names, right? But clear your fundamentals. That's going to be the first and foremost tool that will do in SST as well. That will clear our fundamentals. Then, after clearing our fundamentals, I'll allow you to use AI. Okay. Perfect. Great. Yes, some will just use VS Code for now. And any specific reason for using? As I said, that VS Code is a open source IDE. So what do you mean by open source? That's available on the market. A huge community support is there for VS Code, and different developments. A lot of developments are done with VS Code, and it is basically a standard of using IDEs, right? Like that. Okay. So it's just like Colgate for toothpaste, right? That's the thing about VS Code. Okay. Perfect. So now let's basically start with this and let's see this. So over here, how you can download this particular tool. This is basically you can just write over here VS Code, and this is the link you will receive. Right? This is the link you will receive. So you can just go inside this link, and I'll just pin this on the notice board as well. Okay, so I've put this link on the notice board as well. So you can just open up this link, and this is the tool that we're going to use, the open source AI code editor. Although they're saying AI, but we will not be using the AI features as of now. Okay. So over here, as you see, you'll be finding this button if you're on a Mac system, and if you're on a Windows system, they'll show you the Windows installer. So whatever system you are in, VS Code works with every system, no issues. Just go and click on this button. Okay. So as soon as you click on this button, this particular setup will start to install. It's around 250 MBs, 230 MBs, and it will take around 15-17 seconds to install. So let it quickly install and then we'll move forward. Okay, perfect. So now my setup file is installed. I hope you have installed it yourself as well. And now what you need to do, you just need to open the setup file. So your setup file will open up, and as I have already installed VS Code, so I won't be installing it again, but you have to install it, right? If you have not. So I'll just tell you the steps. First of all, open up your setup file, and just the way you install any software, install VS Code. Just agree to the terms, do next, and VS Code will be installed for you. And as soon as it is installed, you will see an interface like this. Okay. Just do this quickly and let me know if you're able to see this. Waiting here for 2-3 minutes. Let me know if you have installed VS Code and if you're able to see this interface. Should I go with whatever VS Code should I have recommended this here? Yes, yes. By default, you don't have to change anything. Go with the recommendations. Okay. Waiting here for 3-4 minutes. Just do this quickly. And just give me a yes if you're able to see this interface. It must be showing you some welcome message or something like that, right? But that's okay. So if we are done up to this point, and if you can see this particular interface of VS Code, then this is the place where we start writing our code. Okay. But if you see there's no file, there's nothing where we are going to write the code, right? So of course, you will have to create some folders, you will have to create some files. Okay. So the first thing that you need to do is you can go to your desktop, or maybe wherever you want to create a folder directory, right? So over here, I'll just create one, right? So I'll just create a new folder and I'll just name this with today's date, right? So I'll just call this 10th July um, with the app, right? Something like this. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll just open this up and let's get started. So as I've created one folder, you have to open this folder with VS Code. So you have to go to your VS Code environment, and now as you go to the top, you will see these options at the top: file, edit, selection, view, go, run, terminal, window, help, all of these options. Can you see this? How do I turn off AI code completion? I'll show you. I'll show you. Yes, great. So over here, you can go to file, and from this file, you can do this open folder, right? Go to this file option, and from here, you just have to go to open folder. As soon as you go to open folder, go and select the recent folder that you created. So this is the recent desktop directory that I've created. I was selecting this, and here you just need to press open. As soon as you do this, this will open up for you. So at the top now you can see 10th July weather app, the folder is opened. Simple as that, right? So now after the folder has been opened, now what do we need to do? Now again, we cannot do anything with the folder, we need a file. So here inside this folder, we can create some files. So now if you see in VS Code, there are these two options, right? Although there are four options, but you can ignore the two right now. We'll discuss them later. But there are these two options. This one is to create a new folder inside a folder. This one is to create a new file. Okay. So over here, what I'll do, I'll now create a new file. So as soon as you click on this, you'll be able to create a file over here, right? And as I said, three things: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, right? So all of these tools are different tools, right? HTML is a different format, CSS is written in a different format, JavaScript is of course written in a different format. So they have their own extensions, they have their own formats in which we write them. They cannot be written in the same file, right? I mean, they can be, but we'll have to use some different things for it. Generally, we write them separately. So here, when I want to create a HTML file, I can name this anything. By default, I'm naming this index, and this file goes with the extension HTML like this. Okay. So right now what we have done, we have created our first HTML file. Similarly, when you create a CSS file, you can name this anything. I am naming this style dot CSS. So the CSS file goes by the name CSS. Similarly, JavaScript file, let me just name this script, and I'll end it with an extension .js. If I write this, this becomes my JavaScript file. Okay. So these are the three files where we write each and everything. In index HTML, you'll of course write HTML. .css will have CSS code. .js will have JavaScript code. Okay. So we'll start with HTML first. So I'll close these two files and let us start with the HTML now. So when you have created one HTML file, what do you need to do? First of all, you need to get some boilerplate code. Now, what is this boilerplate code? So this boilerplate code is generally given to you by HTML. HTML says that, okay, first of all, use the boilerplate code. After that, start writing your HTML. So how will you get this boilerplate code, and what is this boilerplate code? Let's do that. So first of all, what you have to do, you just have to write an exclamatory mark, and after writing an exclamatory mark, press enter or tab. As soon as you do this, you will be served with this much of a code stuff. Something like this you will see. At the top, this says doc type HTML. Then you have this HTML, head, body, and in between you have meta, and title. Like this. This is known as your boilerplate code of HTML, right? So if you have used C++, if you have used Java, you may know that, okay, there also some boilerplate exists. That means the main function in Java is by default is there. In C++, you have to import the IO stream or something like that, right? All of those things, right? Can you repeat? Sure. Let me just repeat. Simple plain HTML file. Make sure you have created the file with the extension HTML. Okay. After that, the only thing that you need to do is write an exclamatory. Okay. Write an exclamatory, press enter after that, or press tab. Both the button works. Exclamatory tab or exclamatory enter. Okay. As soon as you do this, you will be receiving this kind of a simple structure. Okay. Let me know if you're receiving this, then I'll explain what this is. Yes? Perfect. So now what this is, what this code is. So HTML structures things out, right? Of course, this is used for structuring, so it structures things in itself as well. Right? So the first line that you see, doc type HTML with a specific type of a syntax. If you see a greater than symbol, exclamatory symbol, then some doc type HTML is written, then this is closed. Okay. What is this line? What does this line signifies? This line signifies, anyone knows this? Okay, first of all, tell me if you have used HTML or something, what is the latest version of HTML that we are running right now? 5. Perfect. Right. So the latest version of HTML that is on the market is HTML 5. So this doc type HTML makes sure that we are using the latest updated version of HTML, which is the current version, that's HTML 5. Even without writing doc type, your HTML will work, right? Try this after the session. Remove the doc type and then also try to work with the HTML. That will work. But to make sure that we are using the latest features of this, we use this line doc type HTML. After that, if you see, it has started the HTML tag. Okay. Now notice this HTML tag is not only here, but this is here as well, right? So in HTML, you will find this that there are some tags which have an opening and they also have closing as well, right? So just notice this HTML. This starts from here, and if I just remove this attribute right now, so now you can compare this tag and this tag. What is the difference that you see? This slash, right? This slash. Okay. So when you write the tag without a slash, that means you are opening the tag. And when you write it with the slash, that means you are closing the tag, right? Open tag, close tag. That's all it is. Okay. So I'll just put the attribute back. Yes. Now inside this HTML, when you open or when you close a tag, that means you're saying that, okay, this is one section that you have created. And inside that section, you can put some content, right? Let's say you have created it like a box. Okay. And inside that box, you are putting something. So you're opening the box, closing the box, restricted space. Okay. Like that. So that's your tags. It can open as well, it can close as well. Similarly, now if you move forward inside the HTML tag, you have two tags again. One tag is the header tag, and another tag is the body tag. Okay. Now, what is the significance of these two tags, head and body? So if I talk about this head tag is used to have all the configuration properties, all the configuration related things that you do, that goes inside this head tag, right? So as we just saw, we removed the style sheet from those websites, right? So what were those style sheets? They were all CSS files. But do you remember? Did you remember the complete CSS code, or did you just remove that file? Just the file, right? Just remove that link of the file, right? So where was that added? That was actually added inside this head section, right? That was added inside that head section, right? So from here only you remove that. Okay. So that's one thing. So every file that you want to link, similarly, you can link a JavaScript file over here as well, right? And similarly, you can get different external libraries. Like if you want to get some external fonts, if you want to get some external icons, if you want to get some external tools, all of those configuration related things, they are done in this head section. Okay. So these things are not visible on your web page because they're all configuration properties, they're all configuration files. So they are not visible on your web page, but Whatever you write inside your body tag, that goes inside your web page. Okay, so that you have to remember. Whatever configuration thing you want to do will happen on your head. Whatever you want to show on your website, that goes inside the body tag. Okay. Now, you can ignore the meta tag for now. I'll explain about the meta tag, but not today. You'll need to know some fundamentals before I explain you the meta tag, right? So you can ignore this for now. But title I can explore, of course, right? So in this title, what you can do is I can just write weather apps, something like this, right? And now let us just start this website first of all. Start this HTML code, okay, without writing anything on the body. So now to run this HTML file, what you can do, there are two ways of doing this. Of course, what happens is this is an HTML file. So this will run on your browser, right? This will run on your browser. So now how to run this on your browser? Why the meta tag is not closed? Meta tag are considered as self-enclosing tag. So self-enclosing tags are those tags which do not need a closing tag. Okay. Images, link, will explore more tags right now which are self-enclosing. Input, right? We'll be doing that. They're known as self-enclosing tags. Okay. Yes, but I'll explain about meta tag. Don't worry. I mean, don't worry about these two lines right now. You can ignore them for right now. Okay. Great. So now if I go to this body section and here I can just do an H1. What this H1 stands for? This H1 stands for heading, right? So if you go to this website, which was this Amazon, you can see these things, right? You basically see this deals related to items you have saved, 400 plus new launches, appliances for your home, sign in for best experience. What are these? What is this? These are actually your headings. Okay, these are your headings. Similarly, if I open up any product, right? Let's say if I open up laptops or something, let me open this one for now. If I open this one, then you can see what is this? This is an image. What is this? Again, a heading, right? And what is this? These are different paragraphs arranged in a form of a list, right? If you see, this is a list, but inside this list also we have the paragraphs one by one, content, yes, right? So these are all the different elements that HTML can help you to create, right? So let's try to create these elements one by one. So let's start with headings first. So now this tag h1 is used to create some headings. So I'll just write inside this that I am heading 1 or something like this. Okay, simple as that. Now what do I want to do is I want to see this heading on my website, because what good is that if we cannot see it on the website, right? So let us just try to start this HTML file on our browser. Okay, so how will you do it? So to do it, there are two ways. So if you go to your desktop right now, you just have to go to this folder where you have created this HTML file. Click on this HTML file and open this with your browser. You can open it with Chrome, you can open it with Mozilla Firefox, you can do it like that. So I just open it with Chrome, and as soon as I open this with Chrome, this particular section will open up for you and you will see your heading, which is I am heading 1, something like that, right? This heading is now visible, right? And also see the title. What is the title? The title says weather app. I'll close all these things. The title says weather app, right? So where did we set the title? We just set the title over here. Okay. So this is basically a weather app, and the heading is visible. The title is visible. The heading is visible. Okay. Give me a yes if you're able to reach up till this point. If you're able to open up this website. Yes. Great. So congratulations everyone who are doing this for the first time. You have just created your first basic website. Okay. Although this just contains a heading, but yes, some progress is good progress, right? Perfect. Great, everyone. Perfect. So now we'll now move forward and we'll explore some different elements as well. So now we have explored about this heading. Now we'll move forward and let's see that if we can. For me, only a blank page is there. Great. I was expecting this doubt. Okay. So anyone, if you are seeing only a blank page, notice this, that if at the top you have a white colored circle blinking on the files section, yes, that basically means that your file was not saved. Okay, your file was not saved. So what you have to do, I'll show this to you. Maybe my auto save is on, that's why it didn't get over here. So what I'll do, just give me some time, I'll just do this for you. Okay, this particular circle you will see, right? So whenever you see this kind of a circle, that basically means that your file is not saved. So if you want to save this file, you just have to press Command S on a Mac, Control S on a Windows. That's all. When you do this, go back to your HTML and refresh the page, and you see your heading will come up. Okay, great. Also, now the thing is that if you anytime you make a change, you'll have to do Control S, Control S, Control S every time, right? Doesn't make sense. So now to just avoid this, to just save the file again and again, what you can do, at the left side of your screen, you will see this sidebar. And in this sidebar at the bottom, you will see a gear like logo, this one, right? Which is basically for settings. So you can open this up, and from here you will find an option of settings. Go to settings, and at the settings, you will find this search bar at the top, right? Here, you just have to search for auto save. That's why VS Code is great, right? So it gives you a lot of features. So over here, this has autosave, and autosave is off. When autosave is off, so every time you'll have to save the file again and again. So just go to this drop down and click after delay. After delay. That's all. Okay. So as soon as you have done this, now what will happen, that whatever code you write, after a very small delay, the file will be autosaved. That's what after delay stands for. So if I go over here and if I add 4 or something, you see the file is automatically saved. So now if I go back and if I refresh, my changes will reflect as well. Okay, that's one thing that you can do just to do things quickly. So you can just avoid saving it again and again. Okay, perfect. Yes, you can do autosave. You can just keep it off. Up to you, whatever you like. Great. Now we'll move forward. So H1 we have talked about, right? So now we'll move forward and we'll talk about different headings as well. Yes, there are different headings. So if you see this particular website of Amazon only, it's whatever website you can open up. So this heading has a specific size. Similarly, if I go to any other heading wherever they have used it, maybe not here, but maybe we'll find it in some other website. But headings do also have different sizes. So the H1 is the biggest one of them. Similarly, you can use H2 as well. And similarly, you can use headings up till 6. H3, H4, H5, and H6. Right? You can use this 6 variants of heading. And the only thing that is there is that they reduce in size. As you move forward with the number of headings, they just reduce in size. That means the H1 will be the biggest one of them. A little smaller will be H2, a little smaller will be H3, a little smaller will be H4, and significantly they just decrease their size. So if you now see all of these 6 headings, you will see this in action right now. I'll zoom this so you can see this better. Yeah, something like this. Okay. So heading 1 is the biggest one. Then you have heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. You can use it up to H6. You cannot go H7, H8. That doesn't work. Okay. Great. So now we are done with this, and heading part is done. Perfect. Now we'll move forward and let's explore something known as paragraphs. all the basically this is the way in which you comment something in HTML, right? So what are comments used for? Comments are just used to signify that what section you are starting with, what you are building, and everything, right? So over here as well, I can write a comment. Comment are not visible on your web page; they're just for your reference in code, right? That what this section is doing, right? Yes, for documentation, clarification, for just better readability of the code. Okay. So over here, if you see, I've written this code, basically the comment, and after that, I've written some code. Similarly, I've written a paragraph comment, and after that, I can start with some paragraphs like that. So this is the syntax. This is just the syntax that you can use. Simple syntax to comment in HTML. And there is a shortcut as well. I mean, of course, if you see this syntax doesn't look that good, right? You won't be writing this with your own hands. So what you can do whenever you want to write some comment, just write the comment that you want to write like this. Select this entire thing. You know how to select a text. After that, do command and backslash. That's all. Right? Select the text, do a command and backslash. That will just comment the code for you, comment the text for you. Okay, perfect. Shortcut you can use. All right. So now let's discuss about paragraphs. So now if you go where you have where you must have seen these paragraphs, right? I hope you must have used so many times you must have used Wikipedia, right? Have you ever used it? I hope you have. Hey, sorry everyone, lost you for a while there, right? But now we're back, so let's get started again. Just give me a second. Yes. So now, as you want to start this website again, right? So what was the thing that we discussed? First, we were discussing headings. Then we were about to discuss paragraphs. But before discussing paragraphs, let me show something to you. I'll just start my screen share because I think my screen is not visible for some reason. Okay, now is my screen visible, everyone? Yes, great. So now we were about to start with paragraphs, but before starting with paragraphs, I want to tell you about some cool tools that you can use in VS Code, right? So now, how did you start this web page? You went to this folder, and from this folder, you went and you clicked on this index.html. This is how you started it, right? But every time would you like to do this, that you are in your code environment, you close it, you minimize it, you go to a different folder, start it, long process, right? So for this, what you can do in VS Code only, they give you this very useful extension that goes by the name Live Server. So how you can install extensions? So at the sidebar again, you can see the fifth option over here says extensions. Okay, click on this extensions, and when you click on this extensions, you will have a lot and lot of extensions mentioned over here, right? A lot and lot. So what are these extensions? These are just some plugins that you can use in with your VS Code, right? So now here you just have to install a particular tool that goes by the name Live Server. So in your extensions part, go and search for Live Server. So as soon as you search for Live Server, so you will have this particular tool at the top, right? So you can just click on this, and as I've already installed it, so it's not showing me the install button. But if you have not, it will show you an install button. Click on that install button, and it will take hardly 10 seconds to install. Very lightweight package. Okay, let me know if you're able to install this. Yes, perfect. So as soon as you have installed it, what you can do now, you can go back to your HTML page. Remember, HTML page. Live server doesn't work with JavaScript or CSS, only HTML page. So when you go to your HTML page, you have to be here, and in your HTML page, you just have to do a right click. When you do a right click, you will get this option that says open with live server. Is everyone getting this? If you are getting this, click on this. That's all. As soon as you click on this, you see that your website will open up like this on your default browser, right? Is everyone able to do this? Great, that. Right? Great. Perfect. No, no. Okay. If you're not this, try this again. You will be able to. Right? A pretty straightforward job. And I hope you can do this. Okay. Let me know if you're not able to. I'll help you out again. Great. So now if you see, done. Now we can open our browser. Now we can open our website with the code editor itself. Okay. So that's live server for you. So now as we have installed one extension, as we have seen headings, now let's move forward and see some more HTML things. So let's talk about paragraphs right now. Okay. So when we talk about these paragraphs, as I was talking about, you may have used Wikipedia. So I'll just search for dogs or any kind, any item we can. I just love dogs. Right? So I've just searched for dogs. And when you see that you can go over here and you can open the Wikipedia page for a dog, something like this. So when you open this up, then you see that what is this element? This we just created, right? This is the heading part. But after this heading, you now have the complete description about a dog, right? So this description that you see is known as a paragraph, right? This is known as a paragraph. So how to create this paragraph, right? Let's do this. So over here I'll go, and to create a paragraph, you just need a p tag, right? Open a p tag, close a p tag, like that. And inside this, whatever content that you want, you can add that content. Okay. So let me just copy this first paragraph only that I want to get added as a content. So I'll copy this and I'll paste this inside the paragraph. Okay, like this. But if you see, it has been pasted in just one single line, right? And it gets a little difficult to manage this kind of content, right? So what you can do to make it look a little more elegant on your code only, first of all, let me show this to you that how the paragraph looks like. So if you go to your weather app, and if I just refresh this, you see this is the paragraph that we just got. This is the paragraph that we just got. Why not use the heading tag itself? If you use the heading tag, that this particular thing will become bolder like this, right? So they have specific use cases. Headings are for headings. Paragraph is to show the content. You read a book, right? When you read a book, there is a specific heading, and after that heading, there is specific text. So every particular element has a specific use case of it. That's why. Okay. But we use like H3H4 to do it. I mean, you can, but not recommended, right? Not recommended at all. Headings have their specific use case. I mean, maybe you can use subheadings or something with H3H4, but not content. Don't go for content with headings. Okay, great. Um, yes. So where were we? We were at paragraph. So we have created this paragraph, and we now have this paragraph. What to do with this paragraph? A simple content. If you see, everything is written. But over here in your code, if you see, the paragraph has come up sideways completely. So you have to scroll sideways to see the complete content. So this is known as badly formatted code, right? Let me just mess up this a little more. So I'll just write H2 like this. I'll write H6 like this. Maybe I'll write H4 like this, right? Something like this. So let's say I'm building, and I've written some code like this. And now I see that, okay, the formatting is not right, right? Because it's a little difficult to read, right? And when you scale it up, when you write some more code on this, it becomes difficult to read. So over here, what you can do, VS Code also gives you a feature of formatters, right? So over here, as you started the live server, similarly, you can right click over here, and not only you will find this of these options, but you will find this option as well, which goes by the name format document, right? Can you see this? When you just click on format document, then your complete code gets formatted like this. If you see, right now, this looks good, right? So the code should also be readable, right? I mean, as a developer, of course, our code should be readable. Then other developers can also work with this code pretty well, right? So code readability, code maintainability, code cleanliness is very important when you do development. Okay. So if you see, this is how you can clean up your code. This is how you can format your code. Perfect. Paragraph is here. But still, if you see, this paragraph doesn't exactly looks like this, because in this paragraph there are some different elements as well. Like if you see the name over here, which is I guess what is this? This is the scientific name of a dog, right? So this particular thing is highlighted in bold letters. Then some letters are there which are here as blue colored letters, which are your hyperlinks or something, right? So how to add these things on a specific content, right? References, italicized text. Yes, so many elements are there, right? Perfect. So now if we have all of these things, then there are different tags that you can use to add these effects, right? So let's do this. So let's say for this specific section, I want this to be bold. I want this to be bold, right? So what I can do, that I can add a strong tag inside this, and I can pick up whatever text content I want to go inside. Basically, I want to be visible in bold letters, right? So I can just cut this and I can paste it inside the strong tag like this. So now if I do this, now if I go to the weather app, now you see that the dog and everything, this is on the bolder side. I'll add a space. Yes. You see this? If I just now zoom this, now you see this gets a little bolder. Yeah, something like this. Similarly, if you now move forward and if you want to italicize something, right over here, if you see that, yeah, this is in italic format as well, right? So over here, you have an I tag that goes, right? Basically, the italic tag. So these tags you can actually Google out, right? Italic tag for HTML. If you just do this, you will see that this I tag over here goes as italic or M, right? EM. Okay. So this is most frequently used because I is also used for icons. So we generally don't use I for italic. We generally use this M for italic, right? So over here, if I want to make something italic, I can just use this M tag, and inside this M tag, whatever content I'm going to keep will now just simply become italic as well. Something like this, right? Now let's check this out. You see the same effect that the Wikipedia has. Okay, like this. All right. So this is what you can do with your content, right? You can make it italic, you can make it strong, you can make it bolder, you can make all of these things. If I'm right, Google will use headings for the search, right? If you use headings tag instead of paragraph tag, then will there be a problem? No, no, there will not be any problem. Google doesn't use headings or paragraphs to search. Google uses something known as SEO. There is this thing known as search engine optimization, and if your website is perfectly SEO'd, it's search engine optimized, no issues with headings, no issues with paragraphs, it will basically search for your specific term. Okay. um Perfect. Yes, now let's move forward. So this is how you can just use a paragraph and you can just add some effects on your paragraph as well. Perfect. Very nice. So strong tag is for bold, M tag is for italic, right? Now what else do you see over here? Do you see images? Yes. I mean, yes, of course, hyperlinks are there, but you also see images, right? So before moving to hyperlink, let's talk about images, that how to get some images on your website. Okay. So here, if you see for dog over here, we have these different images of different dog breeds and everything, right? So we also want to get some images on our website. How we can do that, right? So to do this, what we do is we have this image tag that goes on. Image, IMG, and that's it, right? So if you see, this image tag does not have a closing tag, right? It does not have a closing tag. Okay. So these kind of tags, they are known as self enclosing tags. So what are these self-enclosing tags? Which closes automatically. They do not need a closing tag. Okay. But they need some properties. Now, what are these properties? So these properties in HTML terms, we call them attributes. Right? What do we call them? We call them attributes. Okay. So if you notice, if you go at the top, you must see this, that with HTML, this is not just a pure tag, but with this, there is this property that has been added, which is set to lang en. Lang en means this will be passed in the language English, right? That's the thing, right? Japanese people, Chinese people, they use their own languages to code as well. So yeah, there are different languages in which you can code as well, right? So over here you have this lang in English. Okay. So basically the complete passing, the complete understanding of this thing will happen in English. That's why this lang is set to English. Similarly for meta tag also, although we have not explored meta tag, but see, some properties are added, char set, viewport, all of these things. So what are these things? These things that you add with an HTML tag, which gives them that extra edge, which gives them some extra behavior, these are known as attributes, right? Attributes. So now all of your elements can have attributes. Headings, paragraph, they can also have attributes. We'll discuss attributes for them a little later. But right now, the image tag works with an attribute known as the source attribute. What is the name of the attribute? Source, which goes by the name src, right? And inside this source attribute, what you have to provide? You just have to provide the URL of the image, right? You have to provide the URL of the image. Now, this image can exist locally in your system as well, or you can get some image from the internet as well, right? So let's get an image from the internet first. So if I go over here and I can just go to this part, let me just search for a dog image or something like this, a dog image, right? So there are a lot of doggy images over here. So what we can do, we can go to images, and this one looks nice, right? So I'll just select this one. So how to get this image on your website? So to get this image on your website, what you have to do, you just have to do a right click on this image. As soon as you do this, then at the bottom, you will find this option, which goes by the name copy image address, right? Copy image address. So when you do this, this will basically copy the URL of this dog, right? Of this dog image, right? And you can go back and inside this source, make sure you have added these double quotes, right? Inside these double quotes, you can just paste this link. Okay, a very huge URL I can see, but yeah, we can work with this. Okay. So this is the image that has been added. This is the source. Now let's see if this image has been added to our website or not. So now let's go back and see this, and you see this image comes up, right? A beautiful looking image over here. Perfect. So this is just simply how you can get your image tag, right? Image tags you can use. All right. Perfect, everyone. If I want to add image from my file, great. Let me just show that as well. So now let us just say that this image, or maybe I just download another image, right? So now let me just add this particular image, right? Looks so cool. So over here, what I'll do, I'll just do a right click. And as you know, we can download images from the internet as well. So I'll just download this image. So I'll just save image as, and let me just call this dog running image. Okay, something like this. Let me save this. Okay, size change. As I said, the size, alignment, design, everything will be done with CSS. And right now we are just exploring pure HTML. Okay, that is the reason you must have seen the scalar logos were so big and everything, right? So when we add some CSS, then we can work with the sizes. But by default, you can't work with HTML, you can't work with anything related to design. Okay, great. What I was showing is, I was showing this thing, right? That I've downloaded this image right now. So where will I get this? I'll get this at my download section. So I'll get this over here. Um, Downloads. Okay. So if you see downloads, here I'm getting this downloaded image. So now if I want to use image from my local system, right? Because right now what I'm doing, I'm using a URL which is getting this image for you, right? But right now, let's say I want to use an image which exists in my local system, which exists in my files. How can I use it? So to use it, what do you need to do? First of all, make sure that this image is in your directory where you have written your code, right? So for that, what we'll do, I will just copy this image and I'll paste it inside my code folder, basically wherever I have my project set up. And inside this, I'll just paste this. Image has been pasted. Now I'll go to the VS Code, and here if you see, this is the image that has been pasted, dog running image dot avif. Maybe this is some format or something. Okay, so now this we need to use. So if this we need to use, then what we can do, we can go to our index.html, and in place of this source, now we just need to pass the path of this file. What do we need to pass? The path of this file. Now, if you see, when I hover over this, just a second. Yes. If you see, when I hover over this, I actually get the path. Can you see the path? Desktop, 10th July weather app, dog running image.avif. That's the path. Okay. But if you notice, your HTML is where? Is your HTML and this image are on the same folder? Give me a yes or a no. Yes, they're on the same folder. That means just notice the path. The path weather app, up till the weather app thing, the path is common, right? The path is common. So you don't need to provide the complete path, but you only need to provide that from where you have to pick up the file. So you just have to go to index.html and you just have to provide dog running image.avif because the path is common, right? Both of these files, they exist on the same folder. So over here, you don't need to do any path. You just need to say that, okay, just this file exists in the same directory. So what do we use for same directory? Dot slash. Okay. When you just add dot slash, so this HTML will say, okay, from same directory only I have to pick up? Yes. And what I have to pick up? Dot running image dot avif. That's all. So now if you go back, now you see this image comes up. Simple as that. Okay. So both the options are available for you. You can do image from local system. You can do image from the internet as well. But when you do it with the local system, just make sure you are giving the correct path. That's all. Great. This was about the image tag. Now, let me just explore something about the image tag, right? I mean, let me just show you something more about the image tag. Let us say for some reason this image is broken. Let me just say that by mistake this URL is broken or is wrong. Even if I remove this G from here, something like this, right? So now you see this image will be broken because is this the correct path now? Will this be able to find the file? No, no file like this will be found. So now if you move back, you will see a broken image logo. You will see a broken image like this. That means your HTML knows that there was an image, but for some reason, the HTML is not able to find this image. So if this is not able to find the image, then let's say that this has broken in production. That means your website is in production, is live, but your image has broken. So now how will your user know that what was there? Right? So for this, we simply use an alt tag, alt attribute. Inside this alt, I can just write the description of the image. Something like this. And when I do this, then again, for some reason, if my image breaks, then this alt tag comes into the picture and tells the user that what image was there. So if you now move back, now you will see that it will show you dog running image. Right? You may have seen this in some website where the image is broken, but they show the description that the image is broken, but the dog was running here. Right? Something like that. This is not the caption. This is not caption. This is alternate. Alternate means that for some reason, if your image is broken, it will just give you the description of what was there previously. Okay, that's all. It's not a caption, because if my image is correct, then this alt tag will not be visible. If you see, then only the image will be visible. But if for some reason my image URL is broken or my image is deleted, right? So it's not there, right? So now image source will not be able to find it. So it will just show you this broken image with the description of the image that there was a dog wrapping. Okay, like that. Can't it help to know why the image is broken? No, it can't. Right? There are several reasons when the image breaks, and that as a developer is your job to identify why the image is broken. Right? That's what developers do. We solve, we fix broken things. Okay, great. Yes. All right. So yes, there were a lot of people who were saying that image is not, they're not able to see the images. Anyone like this? Just give me a raise of hand. Yes, yes. Okay. So don't worry about it right now. Don't go for a local image right now. Just get a URL from the internet. I hope that was visible for you. Right? Just get a URL from internet. Don't worry. Right? When we'll meet, when we'll be live on campus, I'll fix the things for you. Right? No worry. Great. I'll show you the relative path and the path things, everything. Perfect. So you're done with this image thing. We're done with the paragraph. We're done with the headings. Now, if you see in this Wikipedia page, you'll find something else as well. Like anything else that you see over here? Paragraph, headings, all done. Hyperlinks. Great. Hyperlinks are basically these links which are just associated with these words, right? So let's say if you see this hyperlink which says gray wolf, right? So dogs are basically descendants of the gray wolf. They are saying like this. So now if you want to learn about gray wolves, what you will do, you can just click on this link, and what it will do, it will take you to a different page where they will describe everything about a gray wolf, like that. Okay. Similarly, now let's say you're reading about a gray wolf and then you stumbled upon this North America link, right? And you just want to go to North America and learn a little about North America. So you just click on this, and now it will take you to the North America's Wikipedia page, something like that, right? Also notice the links are changing at the top. The URL is changing at the top. Wikipedia org wiki North America, right? If you see, the last query has been made for North America. Similarly, if I go over here and if I just click on Pacific Ocean, then you will see the link will change to Pacific Ocean like this, right? So what are these things and how they are taking you to different pages? These links in software terms are known as hyperlinks. They are known as hyperlinks, and you can also create your hyperlinks very easily, right? So we'll try to replicate this only, right? So we were at dogs. So from here only, we'll try to replicate this. Okay. So to use an hyperlink, what do? You just use something known as an anchor tag, right? An anchor tag. Now, what is this anchor tag? Anchor tag just starts with A. That's all. Okay. Small a and small a closed as a tag. And in between, you can pass the word which you want to make as a link. Let's say I just want to do this. Go to Google. Something like that. So now this thing that I have added over here will now start acting as a link. So let's check if this does. So if I go over here, it shows go to Google, but this is not showing that blue highlighted thing so that I can click on this. This is not clickable. So I have to make it clickable and I have to make it respond, and I want this to take me to Google's homepage, something like that, right? So to do this, what do? You add a specific attribute with this anchor tag, which goes by the name href. Now, what does href stands for? Href stands for HTTP reference. Okay, it stands for HTTP reference. Now, what is HTTP? HTTP is this protocol that is there with all the websites, right? HTTPS, like this. This is the protocol that is used to communicate within the client and the server. We'll discuss about this. But yes, this stands for HTTP reference, and this doesn't ask for anything. This just asks for the link where it has to redirect you to, right? So as I said, I want to go to Google. So which link should I pass over here? I should pass the link of Google's homepage. That's all. So let's go to Google's homepage, and this is Google's homepage link, right? So I'll just click on this, I'll just copy this, and I just have to paste this link inside this href attribute. That's all. And now if I go back to the website, now you will see that this has become blue in color and this is clickable as well. So now if I click on this, I'm at Google, like that. Okay, you see the URL is changed to google.com. Okay. Similarly, if you want to replicate this particular thing that is working with these dogs, the dog page, right? So let's say I want to use this hyperlink in my paragraph only, right? So as you see, we have already created the paragraph, this one, right? So let's say that over here is Grey Wolf mentioned over here. Yes, this is the section where Grey Wolf is mentioned. So if you want to create this word as a hyperlink, what you will do, just walk me through this, please. In what tag should I keep this word Grey Wolf? Yes, that's possible. That's possible. I'll show that as well. A, right? So over here, I can just use an anchor tag and I can use this word Grey Wolf inside an anchor tag. Okay. But is this sufficient? No. I also have to pass the href for this. What will be the href for this? The href for this will be the link of the Wikipedia of Grey Wolf. So you can just copy this link and you can paste it over here like this. Okay. So now let us check in your paragraph, and great, right? So you see the Grey Wolf is in blue color. I'll just add a space here as well. And yes, looks good, right? So this is the Grey Wolf. And now if I click on this, this will actually direct me to the Grey Wolf page like this. Okay. Perfect. Now this is how you can actually add different anchor tags in these different paragraphs and they will redirect you to different pages, right? Like that. Great. So now there was this question that said that can we open it in a different tab? Because if you notice right now, when I click on go to Google, it basically opens it on the same tab itself and my website is then closed, right? So now if you want to open this in a different tab and you want your website also to remain open, then you can use a specific attribute over here which goes by the name target, right? And you can just set it to underscore blank, right? Now you cannot derive the meaning out of it, that what is the target, what is underscore blank. I mean, so many things over here. But if you just add this attribute over here, the only job it does is it helps you to open your href in a different tab. That's all, right? Let me show this to you. So now if I open Google, now you see it has opened in a different tab, but my website is still intact. Similarly, you can use this on the Grey Wolf part as well. Here, right? This was the href. So you can use it here, target to blank. And when you do this, now your Grey Wolf part will also be working like this. If I open Grey Wolf, opens in a different page, website still intact. Okay, like that. So you can use this simple attribute. Now, every time you don't need to derive meanings out of everything. There will be so many things that you will see, right? And how much meanings you will remember, right? So just Google things out, go to Google, ask a question that I want to do this. Google will give you a lot of articles. Read any one of them, use any attribute, get your job done. Okay, that's what we do in software development. That's right. Perfect, everyone. Great then, everyone. So I think it's already 2 p.m. today. And Favicon, you want me to explain about Favicon? Great. So now if you see different particular websites, they have their different icons, right? On the title section. So here you see they have the Google logo. Here you see you have the Google logo. Wikipedia has the W logo, right? Similarly, if you go to Amazon or any kind of website, if you go to Scalar or anywhere, right? Sorry, right? So Scalar has this upskilling kind of a logo, up arrow, right? Amazon has a. What are these logos? They are known as favicons, right? They are known as favicons, and you can set them as well, right? There is a specific tag that comes up for favicons, and inside that you just have to provide your images, and you can set them as well. Could you show that target path? Sure, this is the target path. Simple target to blank. This will make it more clear. Here, see this. This is how you have to set it. Okay. Perfect, everyone. Then I think it's already 2 p.m. and we have discussed quite a lot of things today. So we'll wrap up today's session, and what we'll try is we'll try to find out some slot where we can set up another session where we can move forward with CSS, with JavaScript, and move forward to creating that weather application, right? Or otherwise, of course, in just 15-20 days, you all will be here, right? So we'll meet, we'll have our classes, and there we'll continue with our sessions. Okay. But perfect, everyone. It was nice interacting with everyone. I got to know a lot of people and super excited to meet you guys over here on the campus, right? So, yes, eagerly waiting to welcome you all and start our journey. Okay, great. So, yes, we'll wrap up the session. I mean, if you now have any questions, anything that you want to discuss, right, we can discuss for about 10-15 minutes and then we can just say goodbye. Thank you everyone for joining. I mean, I cannot take individual names, but yes, thank you everyone.